Hi everyone, welcome to a new episode of Jennifer's Tale, My Life as a Crossdresser. I, of course, am Jennifer saying hi, and if you're watching this on YouTube, welcome to a new episode of my podcast. If you are a crossdresser, you probably came upon this channel or this episode. This podcast is specifically for crossdressers or for those who support them or allies or significant others. In my podcast, I talk about my thoughts, my feelings, experiences as Jennifer, as a crossdresser. I've been doing this for a really long time, and I want you to feel that you're not alone. I want you to feel like there's other girls out there just like you who have the same thoughts and feelings as you do. And I hope you enjoyed this episode, and please do me a favor, subscribe to my channel, which is right down below. And also check out previous episodes if you haven't seen those. I think there's a lot of useful information and, like I said, my thoughts, my feelings, just so that you feel like you're not alone. If you're listening to this as an audio podcast, whether it be on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you download your favorite podcast, thank you for downloading this episode. Once again, if you're new, I hope you'll enjoy what you're about to hear. I'm a crossdresser. I can relate to you if you're listening to this podcast in some way, shape, or form. Please do me a favor and check out the other episodes wherever you found this one. And let's get into this episode. A lot of girls out there want to hear about my real life experiences, so here's one for today, and it's entitled My Friend Tracy. Now, way back in the day, probably about 1999 or so, I was working at a big box retailer. I was working full-time there, and I've been working there for quite some time. I made a lot of friends. Well, one of the friends I made was my friend Tracy. She worked in one of the departments. I worked in another one. We worked the same hours. We worked a lot of the same shifts. She was just a little bit older than me, but we got along really well. And as we got along well and got to know each other, she became a real good friend to me. You know, it's somebody that I felt I could talk to about anything as my guy self, and somebody who she always shared things with me as well, and we just had a really good rapport, a really good relationship. Now, as time went on, when we were working together, another girl came to, or a lady came to work, a woman came to work, and it was somebody I was interested in dating, and so I wanted to date her, and so I talked to Tracy about it. Now, one of the reasons I talked to Tracy was because my cross-dressing was coming back up. I was feeling I wanted to dress more. I had been dressing some, and I was living in a big city in Iowa, and I just wanted to, I was just in the verge of getting out as Jennifer and going out and doing things and experiencing real life, but still kind of afraid to go out. You know, I would go out, get in my car, drive around a little bit, and that was pretty much the extent of it. So I confided in Tracy that I wanted to ask this girl out, but there was something that was kind of holding me back. And so when she asked me what that something was, I felt really comfortable in telling Tracy that, well, you see, I'm a cross-dresser. I'm somebody who likes to dress up in women's clothes from time to time. And I'm really enjoying, you know, getting out and being, or trying to get out and be who I want to be, you know, at least from time to time. Well, Tracy was somebody who was very understanding, and she told me, if you want to get out, we should go out sometime, which totally floored me. I was like, what, really? And she's like, next time you're dressed up, if you want to come over to my place, she's like, you're more than welcome to come over. We can sit and chat, and, you know, maybe we'll go out and do something. Well, this was early spring, late winter, early spring, so it was rather cold outside. So there was one day where I got dressed up as Jennifer. I was wearing kind of a red long sleeve top and a short black mini skirt and high heels. Not too high, probably about 2 inches. And I got dressed up, and I called Tracy, and I was like, I'm all dressed up as Jennifer. Are you home? And she was like, yeah, I'm home. And I was like, do you mind if I come over? I wanted to venture out, and for some reason, I felt like I could really open up to Tracy. I could, you know, share Jennifer with her. Back then, I was still really afraid to have somebody I know see me as Jennifer. Even now, to some extent, I'm kind of that way. and I think all girls are that way. You know, all cross-dressers are that way. You might, you know, think you look like $1,000,000, and when you dress up, you look great. But if you would encounter somebody that you knew, or if somebody said, you know, I know you're a cross-dresser, I want to see you in person, real life, as your femme self, it's kind of scary. So anyway, Tracy was like, I'm home. If you want to come over, feel free. And so that's what I did. I hopped in my car. She gave me her address, and I went over to visit her. It was, like I said, kind of the middle of winter. I didn't even have a good coat to wear. I showed up without a coat on, you know, freezing my little butt off, and knocked on her door, and she had been waiting for me. She opened the door, welcomed me in. She gave me a hug. She was so happy and cheerful, and she's like, wow, you look incredible. You know, turn around, let me take a look at you. She thought I looked great. She was very impressed with how I looked, and totally different than my guy mode. And she offered me a chair. I sat down, we just started chatting. And she said, well, I have to warn you. She goes, my brother might be coming home. She shared a house with her brother. She goes, but my brother's gay, so that's part of the reason why she was so welcoming of me as Jennifer and being a crossdresser, is because she had a brother who she welcomed with open arms for being gay. She said, he might be coming home. You know, don't be worried, don't be alarmed, don't be scared. It's going to be fine. And this is back in the day before cell phones really, or cameras on cell phones. I had taken along my camera and asked her if she would take a couple pictures of me, because I really didn't have any pictures of myself as Jennifer. So she took several pictures of me, and then while she was taking the pictures, her brother did show up. I remember him saying, you know, hello, and she was like, I'm in the living room, I have company. And he kind of came in, and she introduced me to him. I don't remember his name, but he was very polite. He said hi, shook my hand, and just kind of talked to Tracy for a couple minutes. And then he said, well, I'm, you know, going to go upstairs. I'll leave you two alone. And that was kind of the extent of it. I found out later on that I asked Tracy, it's like, so what did your brother think of me? And she said, she asked him, and he said that he thought I looked great. He thought at the time my makeup was maybe a little bit too pale. But other than that, you know, he thought I looked really good. So anyway, story continues. Tracy took some pictures of me, and she was like, you know, I have to go run some errands. Why don't you come along? And I was like, I was shocked. I was like, you know, you want me to go with you dressed like this? And she's like, why not? You look fine. If nobody's going to say anything, and if they do, so what? You're my friend. I want you to come with me. I want you to enjoy yourself. And I was like, Tracy, I don't even have a winter coat. And she's like, I got you covered. Let me see what I can find. And she went into her closet, and I was a little bit bigger than her, but she found a coat that would work for me. Kind of a black overcoat kind of thing, almost like, kind of like a guy's coat, but at the same time it worked really well for the outfit I was wearing, because it kind of covered my legs a bit. And she was like, you know, you need to get out. You want to get out more. You need to not be afraid of what people are going to think of you or what they're going to say. You just need to go out there and do it. And I was like, okay, as long as you're with me, you know, why not? Let's give it a try. So I did not do the driving. She did the driving. She had to go to Walmart, and she had to go to the bank. So I remember the first stop was the bank, and we went to the bank, and she was like, all right, let's go. And I was like, that's okay. I can stand here, or I can sit here in the car and wait while you run in. And she was like, really? She's like, you're out in a car, you know, why don't you go in? I was like, I'm not feeling it. You know, I'll go to Walmart, go into Walmart with you. At least there's a lot of people, and, you know, I might not catch an eye or anything like that. So she was like, okay, but I'm going to hold you to it that you're going to go into Walmart when we go. So she went to the bank. It didn't take her all that long. She came back out. So we went to Walmart, and it was kind of a cold, wet day. I remember walking through the parking lot and trying to have to dodge puddles because I didn't want to splash water up on my heels, because I definitely, you know, I was not wearing boots. I was wearing heels, and heels and puddles really don't mix. So anyway, I was scared to death. I was afraid. I was afraid somebody might see me and figure out that I am, not a true woman. But Tracy was right there with me, and she's like, when we got out of the car, she's like, whatever happens, don't worry. I got your back. Whatever people say, they're going to say. So don't worry about it. So we went into the store and we wandered around. She had a few things that she needed to pick up. I did not, but I was kind of focused more on my walk, focused more on my mannerisms, focused on just trying to be the best woman that I could be, but also at the same time enjoying the fact that I was out in public with my friend and enjoying being Jennifer. So that's what we did. She picked up her stuff, we checked out, went back to her place. It was a great, wonderful experience. Unfortunately, that was the only time that I ever went out with Tracy. As time went on, I never really asked her again if she would go out with me again, with me as Jennifer. And then I kind of quit working at the place where we were working, and I lost track of her, and I never have been able to find her. But if for some reason Tracy, who I worked with way back in the day, happens to see this, thank you for encouraging me to go out as Jennifer. Thank you for telling me to, put on my big girl panties and go out and do it. And it was a big step in the right direction for me, which even continues to this day. There's still times when I go out and I'm afraid of what people might say or think, but you need to do what you got to do in order to enjoy life and enjoy being the woman that you are inside, and have a good time. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that real life story. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave a comment or send me an email at jenniferstalepodcast@gmail.com. That's Jennifer's Tale Podcast, all one word. Or leave a comment on my Facebook page. You can leave a comment on this video. And until next time, this is Jennifer saying hugs and kisses. Bye-bye.